Bayeti,
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 Bayeti Nkosi, Bayeti, King of Kings, Bayeti, Bayeti Nkosi, Bayeti Nkosi is King of Kings.
Who
Can match your greatness?
who
Can know your power? Who can search your riches? Who can deny you a crown? Lord of all.
Last night on the Mediterranean, the European migrant and refugee emergency has not gone away. On one boat, the crisis boils down to this.
Thank you, and welcome to another edition of Fishmonger Stories. My name is George, but I go by the name Fishmonger Stories. Today's story is dedicated to all immigrants out there, or to anybody who has traveled from one culture to another culture, or one country to another country. This is your story. Are you ready for a story? Can I tell you a story? I is for immigrants. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Nikwaramugi. Long time ago, once upon a time, deep in the jungles of Africa. Apo zamani zakali, Chongilala. Around Lake Malawi, also known as Lake Nyasa, lived a husband and a wife. Oh, the husband, he was from a tribe of Yahoo. The wife was from a tribe of Songa. The husband and wife, they were fishermongers. Oh, that means they dealt in fish. Oh, they caught fish. They ate fish for breakfast, fish for lunch, a fish for dinner, or fish for snacks. One day, the wife, she woke up the husband and said,
"Husband, I want to make delicious fish soup for you. Go out there and get some fish so I can make delicious fish soup for you."
And the husband, he said,
"Yes, honey."
Things have changed. And the husband, he went out there to catch fish so he could bring fish home to the wife to make delicious fish soup. He was gone not for 1 hour, not for 2 hours, not for 3 hours, not for 4 hours, but for 6 hours. But he did not catch any fish. When he came from the lake, out of the lake, oh, the wife confronted the husband right there and said,
"You have been gone for 6 hours. Where have you been? What have you been doing? And who have you been doing it with? Where have you been? You can't tell me you've been gone for 6 hours and you didn't catch any fish."
And the husband and the wife were arguing back and forth. While they were arguing, they did not see this strange fella who came on the beach. A strange looking man, short man with a big head and crooked teeth. Obviously, he was not a Songa. Obviously, he was not from the Yahoo tribe. He looked different. Big head, round body, crooked teeth. Who is this man? The couple, they stopped fighting and looked at this strange man. And the man, short stranger who spoke with a strange accent, looked at the couple and said,
Hey, Mama, me that you see here, I have come to fish. My only reason for existence is to fish. Give me something so I can fish.
and the wife said, well, if you are here to fish and my husband can't seem to catch any fish, well, there is the lake. Go and fish and catch some fish for me. Oh, the man, he took out his shirt, he took out his pants, and he was naked. And he jumped into the lake, singing a strange song.
Rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbe, rego rego chumbo, rego rego, rego chumbe, rego rego chumbo, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbe, rego rego chumbo, rego rego, rego chumbe.
As he was singing, this man slowly started catching fish and throwing them onto the beach. Catching fish, throwing them onto the beach. Catching fish, throwing the fish out onto the beach. Before you know it, he was throwing out so much fish. The neighbors and the villages, people who had not caught fish for weeks, thronged onto the beach to see this spectacle of a man catching fish with bare hands and just throwing them onto the beach. Before you know it, the whole community, the whole village, they gathered at the beach to look at this man. And when this man, he came out of the water naked, they looked at him and said, he is a strange fella. He is a strange one. At this rate, if this strange fella continues to catch fish, he will finish all the fish in our lake. And the man, he looked at them and said,
Hey, Mama, me that you see here, I have come to fish. My only reason for existence is to fish. Give me something so I can fish.
and she said, we can't have this strange fella finishing all our fish. We have to send him to the longest freshwater lake in the whole world. The longest freshwater lake in the whole world happened to be right next door. Lake Tanganyika. Yes, Lake Tanganyika is the longest freshwater lake in the whole world. Right there. And they said, let's send him over to Lake Tanganyika so he can fish with the people of the Digo and the Sukuma people of Tanganyika. And they send him there. Oh, the man, he put on his clothes and off he went to Lake Tanganyika. When he got to Lake Tanganyika, oh, the man, he took off his shirt, he took off his pants, and he was naked. He was just about to jump into Lake Tanganyika. And the people of the Digo, the Sukuma, they saw him and said, stop. And the man, he said,
Hey, Mama, me that you see here, I have come to fish. My only reason for existence is to fish. Give me something so I can fish.
and they told him, hey, Ndugu, brother, stop, please. Here in Lake Tanganyika, we use spears. And they gave him a spear and taught him how to spear the fish. Oh, it wasn't long. The man, he started to spear the fish, singing his song.
Rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego chumbo, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego mawakula, rego rego, rego chumbo, rego rego chumbo, rego rego, rego chumbo.
The man, he was spearing so much fish and catching so much fish. the Sukuma people, the Digo people, they were in awe. They were amazed at the speed and the tempo by which this man, this strange man with a strange accent, was catching fish. They looked at him and said, hey, at this rate, this strange fella will finish all the fish in Lake Tanganyika, and we can't afford to have this man finish all the fish. Let's send him somewhere. They looked around. Let's send him to the largest freshwater lake in Africa, which happened to be right next door. Yes, Lake Victoria. The largest freshwater lake in Africa happened to be right there next door in Lake Victoria, between Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And said, let's watch a tumtume huku kwa Jaluo. And they told him, go over to Lake Victoria, go and fish with the Luos. And the man, he went over to Lake Victoria. When he got to Lake Victoria, oh, the man, he took out his shirt, he took out his pants, and he was naked. He was just about to jump into Lake Victoria, and the Luos saw him and said, hey, stop. Jana mochasianda nyawadgi. But here, we don't fish naked. Here, we use something different. No. We use nets. We don't fish naked. And they gave him nets. And the Luos taught him how to fish using a net. You throw the net. You pull the net. You throw the net. And the man, he took the net. He pulled. And he pulled it back, singing his strange song.
Orego rego mawakula, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego rego mawakula, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego, rego chumbe, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego rego mawakula, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego rego mawakula, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego, rego chumbe, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego, rego chumbe, orego rego, rego, orego rego mawakula, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego rego mawakula, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego, rego chumbe, orego rego, rego chumbe.
It wasn't long. This man was pulling the nets full of fish. Everybody in the Luo community was in shock and awe, looking at how much fish this man had caught within hours that he had landed amongst the Luos. And they said, Jagoni, at this rate, he will finish all the fish. And the Luo community, they gathered together and said, we have to think long and hard and come up with a better decision. At this rate, Jagoni, he will finish all the fish. And the Luos said, what do we do? And the Luo elders, the Luo nation said, why don't we give him a visa and send him to Europe, send him to Australia, send him to America? But they could not get a visa. And said, somebody stood up and said, hey, we could send him right next door to India. Yes, India is right up here. Yes, let's send him to India. India will not disturb us with visa. And they send him to India. Oh, when the man landed in Bombay, Maharashtra, he went all the way to Jammu and Kashmir. Lake Ular in India. Lake Ular is the largest freshwater lake in India. Oh, when the man, he landed in Lake Ular. Oh, he took out his clothes, he took out his pants, and he was naked. He was just about to jump into Lake Ular. And the Indians, they looked at him and said, hey,
Ye kaun hai? Dima karape? Dima karape? Who is this? Pagale? Are you crazy? Are you mad? Who is this man who comes to our lake and takes off his clothes? Are yaar, we don't, here in India, we don't catch the fish naked. We use the line. You pull the line. You pull. You pull the line. You don't catch fish naked, yaar. You pull the line.
And the Indians, they taught him how to pull. Before you know it, the man, he started singing his strange song.
Orego rego mawakula, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego rego mawakula, orego rego, rego chumbe, orego rego chum, rego rego chum, rego mawakula, rego chumbe, rego chumbe, rego chum, rego mawakula, rego chumbe, rego chumbe, rego.
Before you know it, this man, he had pulled so much fish. The Indians were in shock and awe. They called him
Kalia Both, Black Ghost. ये कौन है? कालिया बोथ, Black Ghost.
and they said, "Arey yaar,
फिश का टाइम हो गया, फिश का टाइम हो गया. At this rate, he has to go यार. चलो चलो जल्दी करो, चलो चलो यार, चलो यार. We have to send him away यार. चलो चलो जल्दी करो. We have to send him away यार. No यार, no यार. He can't catch fish in our lake. Fish का टाइम हो गया यार. We have to send him away यार.
And they thought long and hard. Let's send him to the largest freshwater lake in the whole world, which happens to be Lake Superior. Lake Superior is in Canada, surrounded by the other great lakes. Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and Lake Superior. And the Indians, they gathered and they did everything they had to do to get him a visa to go to Canada. They sent him all the way to Lake Superior. Oh, when this man, he landed in Lake Superior, surrounded by all the five Great Lakes. Oh, Rego. He was so happy to be surrounded by all these lakes, all these fish. When he came to Canada, he took off his shirt, he took off his pants, and he was naked. He was about to jump into Lake Superior, and the Canadian Border Patrol stopped him and said, "Hey, here in Canada, we don't catch fish naked. We use trolley." And they taught him how to catch fish using the trolley. It wasn't long. The man, he had mastered how to catch fish using trolley while singing his strange song. Sing with me.
Rego mawakula, rego chum, rego mawakula, rego chumbe, rego chumbe, rego mawakula, rego chumbe, rego mawakula, rego chumbe, rego chumbe, rego mawakula, rego mawakula, rego chumbe, rego chumbe, rego chumbe.
The man, he had caught so much fish. When the Canadian authorities saw the rate at which this man, Rego, was catching fish, they said, "Hey, we have to switch him around. If he's in Lake Huron, let's make him go to Lake Ontario next time, so that Lake Michigan can rest. Let him go to Lake Erie, so Lake Superior can rest. Let him go to Lake Huron, so Lake Erie, Ontario can rest. Let him go to Michigan, so Lake Erie can rest. Let him go to Superior. Rotate him." But when he came to Lake Michigan, deep inside the United States had closed their borders. And Rego could not come to fish inside the United States. US had closed their borders. But the man, he did not give up. He kept fishing in Huron, Ontario, a little bit of Michigan, Lake Erie, Lake Superior. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this man continued to fish, singing his strange song. That's all he did. Fish, sing, fish, sing, fish, and sing. But little did you know, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the longest river in North America is River Mississippi. One of those distributaries of the River Mississippi is in one of those 5 distributaries. Yes, Oh, it wasn't long. Oregorego found himself swimming in one of those meandering distributaries that goes from the Great Lakes into the river Mississippi. Yes, before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in the river Mississippi. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Minnesota. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Wisconsin. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Iowa. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Illinois. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Kentucky. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Tennessee. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Missouri. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Arkansas. Before you know it, Oregorego, he was swimming in Louisiana. He had divided United States east and west. He had swum all the way from north to the southern states, going through major cities. He swam through St. Paul's. He swam through St. Louis, Missouri. He swam through Memphis, Tennessee. He swam through La Crosse. He swam through La Belize. He swam through Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He had swum all through the major cities of the United States. And that is how Oregorego found himself fishing all over North America, fishing everywhere he go. Ladies and gentlemen, look at any field, any industry that you work in. Whether you work in healthcare, a factory worker, he who cuts your lawn, a professor in college, your doctor or your children's doctor, your nurse, the hospitality worker, your lawyer, your scientists, your engineers, your sportsmen, your entertainment leaders, in the movie industry, in the culinary arts, even in politics. You will find a little bit of Orego, someone with a strange accent, someone who covers his head, someone who covers his entire body, somebody who is a little different. That is why you will find Dr. Otieno, Dr. Ojuang, Dr. Kamau, Dr. Patel, Dr. Yusuf, Dr. Gonzalez, Dr. Onimoe, Dr. Zibo, Oregorego, a little accent. All he wants is an opportunity to fish. Give him something so he can fish. And that is the beauty of immigration. I is for immigrants. That is why we tell this story. I is for Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I is for Trevor Noah. I is for Rihanna. I is for Akon. I is for Lupita Nyong'o. I is for Pogba. I is for Athing Mo. I is for Chef Marcus Samuelson. I is for Ilhan Omar. I is for Wycliffe. I is for Miriam Makeba. I is for Dikembe Mutombo. I is for Wangari Maathai. I is for Tamba Ali. I is for Sundar Pichai. I is for Mara Menzies, the storyteller. I is for Usifu Jallo. I is for Jane Blake, storyteller. I is for Ben Johnson. I is for Salma Ayak. I is for Bob Marley. I is for Jackie Chan. I is for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek basketball player who is the MVP of the NBA. I is for Bernard Lagat. I is for Joel Embiid. I is for Oval Buck. I is for Kim Olajuwon, Bobby Jindal, Satya Nadella, and all those many who have come before us and will continue to come. I is for immigrants. I, Orego Rego, I am here to fish. My only reason for existence is to fish. Give me something so I can fish. Thank you for enjoying this story. Please don't forget to subscribe to Fishmonger Stories, like, leave a comment, and share the stories. Until I see you again, asante sana, obrigado, gracias, shukriya, arigato, merci, Katonda akusereke, zaijen, sheshe, firmilenge, tutinda adong arom gibao makanera. May you grow as tall as the tallest tree in your uncle's homestead. Hadithi hadithi!
Hadithi njoo!
Hadithi hadithi!
Hadithi njoo!
Paukwa!
Pakawa!
Sahani!
Ya mchele!
Giza!
Ya mwizi!
Kiboko!
Ya mtoto mkorofi! Outa!
Can I tell you a story?
Get on with
Can I tell you a
this!
story?
Get on with this!
Hope you are there.